Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Sorry for the lack of videos the last couple days. I was actually in Philly visiting my boys from the NHL community, John Wayne, CJ, as well as Junior Pens and Holtby. Had a phenomenal weekend. It was awesome to finally travel again. But we're back, and we're back on that NHL 22 grind. Specifically today, we're going to talk about the beta that was just released, the closed technical test for NHL 22, as well as the EASHL World of Chell deep dive that we got over the weekend. I'll give my thoughts and kind of my 5 takeaways from that, as it looks like the mode is going to be vastly improved. But guys, I am going to be giving away some beta codes in this video. I'll tell you how to win some beta codes if you weren't able to receive them a little bit later on in the video. So let's get into it. Let's first go over the few good and important changes to EASHL and NHL 22. All right, so first and foremost, I think we need to talk about the new menu system and the fact that it's a live lobby. No longer do you have to go through 10 different menus to get to 6v6 or back out of that and go to 3v3 if you've got a different group of fellas that you're playing with. Or if you wanted to go open up your hockey bags, you'd have to all do that by leaving the dressing room. It's just longer load times going back in. It was an absolute pain. The biggest improvement to this mode, in my opinion, is the fact that we've got a live dressing room now, meaning that if at any menu in the World of Chell, you can hit triangle or Y, and you can throw in your buddies, and they're in there, meaning that once you've got a few friends in the lobby that you're about to play with, and you're waiting on someone, maybe they're eating, maybe they're finishing up a game, something like that, you can go change your loadouts, you can go open up your hockey bags, you can go look at your stats, all of that. And you're never leaving the dressing room. That is a gigantic quality of life improvement, and it's just going to mean a lot less time fumbling around and just in the menus. EASHL's menus have always been absolutely brutal, and NHL 22, it looks like EA is really adjusting those and giving us a huge improvement. Another sweet addition, again, just kind of adding to it, is the fact that as you level up with your pro club, it'll actually change the arena and scenery in the background in your lobby. I think that's just a nice touch. It's nothing huge, but it is a really, really nice touch, and I think it just adds a little bit more pop to the dressing room. All right, so the next big change to NHL 22 is going back to custom loadouts. For the last few years in EASHL, we've basically gotten builds preset by EA. If you want to be a puck-moving defenseman, you were really allotted a certain stat range for every stat, and you can manipulate it by a bit, depending on certain perks and things like that, but you were really kind of set in stone, didn't really differentiate at all, and then there was really just a meta where everyone would just pick the same one. That's no longer the case. You pick your zone ability after, from a choice of ones that you've unlocked, and then you go from there. You build your archetype, like Sniper, for example, as you see on the screen here. And then each of the stats are separated into 5 categories. And the big thing about this is that in those 5 categories, you can really manipulate stats to really change things up and customize your character. Now, on top of the zone abilities as well, you have superstar abilities, just like in HUT and Versus and franchise mode, all of that. You've got lesser zone abilities. So superstar abilities are passive, just like zone abilities are, really, but they add lesser depending on what you've picked, and those will impact how your player will play. And again, this is going to drastically change how you actually play the game and how you load out. You get to be really creative with your custom builds, and I don't think that there'll be as much of a meta as opposed to what suits you best. If you want someone that can, play really well defensively, maybe you're a center, you want to have a good face-off rating, or big tipper like you see on the screen here. There's a lot of different setups here. Maybe you're a defenseman that likes to just flick up. You're the one that, gets the puck at the point and just walks in and hammers a slapper no matter what's in front. Maybe you want Heat Seeker, something like that. Really changes how you play the game, and I think it adds a lot of sustainability to the mode. It makes it a lot more fresh, because to unlock all of these sets and abilities, like for your superstar abilities, you've got to level up. There is a grind element to it, and I think that's what was missing from EASHL. Now, the one big thing that people, brought up was back in 2013 or 14, I believe was the last year, where it was full custom builds, meaning that all the attributes, the higher that you leveled up, the more you played, the higher attributes, and you got to choose everything. The problem with that is that if you played the game for so long, you would just dominate anyone who didn't really have the time to actually, play it at their own pace. That isn't really the case in this sense, because they do make it so that if you are going to raise some attributes, like wrist shot accuracy, slap shot accuracy, it's the same bucket as speed, balance, and agility. So if you want to increase your speed, you're lowering your accuracies or your balance or your agility, which is a pretty even trade-off. But on the other side, again, for tactics, like you see on the screen, you want deking to be higher, your face-offs lower, maybe you're a winger. That's probably going to be the play there. But it really keeps it balanced. But you do get an advantage by playing the game more and getting those extra superstar abilities, as well as the boosts at the end there. You'll see up at the right here, besides superstar abilities, you've got those 2 empty boost slots. And in the prior game, it was like it'll raise an attribute, but it'll also take away from something. That isn't the case in 22. If you level up and get your boost slots unlocked, you can actually just raise multiple stats. You know, it's just an additional bonus essentially for hitting the max level or the high enough level. I think this is a huge change, and again, I really think this is going to impact the game super positively. This is something that the community's wanted for a long time, and it isn't going to break the game. I've been playing it for quite some time now, testing things out, and it doesn't really feel like if someone is level 50, that if you're just loading into the game that you can't compete. There is definitely an advantage, but it isn't so big that you're just at a complete loss. Like if you run into a team of max level guys that have all of the perks, superstar abilities, zone abilities, yeah, they're probably going to do some work to you, but that also comes with their just ability, or they played the game longer. They're probably more, practiced a little bit harder kind of thing, but it isn't like you can't play if you are a better player. So I really like this change. I'm excited to see some of the creative builds that people come up with. Is you're going to get a whole bunch of options. There is a lot of zone abilities. There's a lot of player classes, the superstar abilities, all of that. It's going to be really fun trying to find what works best for you, and just a really great addition to NHL 22. All right, guys, so I mentioned early on that I've got some beta codes to give out. To win a beta code for whatever console that you're playing on, just like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll choose a few subscribers from the comments section. And again, just leave your console and the region you play in, whether you're North America or EU. Just let me know, subscribe to the video, give it a like, and I will pull a few lucky people later on. So let's get back into the video. All right, so lastly, we just got some more quality of life changes. Again, I think the huge adjustments to the mode, obviously the custom builds, that's something that's been requested for so long, and then the live dressing room, no longer having to leave the party and just able to do everything from one screen is so big. But we also got reduced club finals length, so if you do play sixes with a club and you did qualify for the playoffs, no longer will you have to wait a couple weeks. It'll be done much faster. We also got white ice for the club finals because there was a little bit there was a bunch of complaints in terms of shadowing. And then lastly, in terms of matchmaking, you can now choose the exact size difference among the other teams. So if you're searching and you've got a full team of 6 and you don't want to match, you got to match the room exactly. But let's say you're okay with 1 or maybe 2 CPU players, you can now set that to whatever you're okay with. Obviously, that'll increase search times, but again, just a nice little quality of life adjustment. Then we also got a big fix for esports, as in private games, there is now an option to allow skipping replays, meaning that if you set that to no, that means they can't skip replays, and that just adds a lot to the broadcast. But again, the big changes are the live dressing room and the custom builds. I think those are huge W's, but I need to know what you guys think of the gameplay. If anyone that does get into the beta, and if you haven't, make sure you subscribe and post down below in the comments section so I can hook you up with some codes. But let me know what you think of the gameplay so far. Test out some X factors. Let's see what you guys think, as that is what the technical test is for. I'm excited to see about the other deep dives and the modes that are coming in NHL 22. But let me know, guys. And again, for the most up-to-date NHL 22 news and info, keep it locked right here.